somebody was sharing a very good experience of how coming into Gyan has helped them overcome feelings of shame. And it was nice listening to that, so I wanted to share it with everybody. So there's this brother, and he was telling me that ever since childhood, he lived in a lot of shame. And why? Because he felt that he belonged to a poor family, and whenever he saw people who could afford things which he couldn't, so he felt like, I am ashamed of my surroundings. And he said that I was even ashamed of my parents. I would never bring any friend home. I would never make anybody meet my parents. I was also ashamed of, my life and everything that I had. And I always, out of that shame, I lived in a very pseudo world where I created this world of ego, where I told a lot of lies to others to just impress them and make them believe that I'm somebody that I was not. And he said that I did that for a very big part of my life. And then I came into Gyan. And in the beginning, even coming into Gyan was a part of that ego building, because one of my friend who was very well off and very doing well for themselves, his mother used to go to the center. So I started going with his mother because I wanted to impress her. And I just liked impressing people who were well-to-do. So he told me that I started going to the center with his mother. And I used to sit when she used to sit in the class. And slowly, gradually, because I had studied, and Baba says that you have a buddhi which starts getting activated. So I started listening to Gyan. And when I started doing that, I understood that, this is what's happening with me. It took a lot of time. He said, I've been in Gyan for the last 10 years now. And he said that when I started discovering what is my sanskar and how I have become this person, and then I learned about self-respect, and I learned about how you are not defined by your parents or your surroundings or anything, but you have to have a respectable relationship with everyone. So if I cannot have an attitude of respect for my parents or for my past, then that attitude of disrespect will also not allow me to sit in self-honor or sit in self-respect. So then I consciously started developing self-respect and giving respect to everybody, even those who I was ashamed of in the past. I started consciously creating a lot of respect for them. And then he said that now I'm in a place where I'm not ashamed of anything. I am very proud to be myself, and I'm not proud because of the work I have done in the world or whatever I have achieved. I'm just proud that I'm Baba's child, and I want everybody to be free from this clutches of shame and guilt, and maybe because of what you have had or what you have done. And he said that because he has been listening to classes online, so he was just telling me that I had this feeling that whenever I meet you, I will tell you my story, and I wanted to share this with you. And I said, okay, I'll share this in the class. So he said, yes, I'll be glad if you do that. And if others also receive the message, I'll be very happy. So you see that this is so magical. And you see, Baba teaches us how to, overcome guilt, overcome shame, and come to this place where you understand that you are worthy, you matter, you are dignified, you are a valuable soul, and Baba loves you. And when you have this faith, and you also, because you perceive as you are, so you also start respecting and extending those feelings of love and respect to those who you earlier, who you were ashamed of or you had other feelings for. And this is so freeing. It's so liberating in itself. So a soul which is chained in these, in the chains of these feelings, feels so suffocated. And when we come to Baba, and with Baba's light and might, Baba's knowledge and Baba's yoga power, when we overcome these feelings, we feel so free from them, because these feelings keep gnawing at our heart and they make us feel less than about ourselves. But when we become free, we also, we come to this place of self-realization where we know how worthy we are and how much we matter. So this is something. And then today Baba is talking about tactfully explaining the difference between bhakti and gyan. And in Hindi, there are two words, Yog Yukt and Yukti Yukt. And Yog Yukt means in Baba's remembrance, and Yukti Yukt means tactful. So, and Baba has told us that you can only be Yukti Yukt when you are Yog Yukt, which means that in order that your words are accurate and whatever you share with others is accurate and it hits the right spot, it hits the buddhi, the heart of the soul, you have to be very Yog Yukt. And when you are in remembrance of Baba, you speak the right words. And Baba says that because Baba is the liberator, the ocean of knowledge, the purifier, so it is only Baba who can liberate people from the chains of bhakti and bring them to light. And Baba says we are his instruments, so we have to work for him. But the thing is that only in his remembrance will we be able to be an instrument who does that. Because if I am not in Baba's remembrance, I may use a lot of logic, I may use a lot of, maybe examples or maybe science or anything to explain what I am explaining. But it will not hit the heart of the soul, because that's not Yukti Yukt. So Yukti Yukt is not tactful in the sense of using a lot of knowledge, logic or some interesting method only, but Yukti Yukt is an aspect of being Yog Yukt. This is something I wanted to underline first. And then Baba says, explain the difference between bhakti and gyan very tactfully. Just like a mouse, he bites and he also keeps blowing. So because he keeps blowing, so the person, I don't know if you've ever had a mouse bite. Usually, if people sleep on the floor, then the mice will come and bite. But when they bite, you will not get to know. Only in the morning you see that it's swollen and you know that there was a mouse bite. And because when the mice bites, then they keep blowing so that you don't feel the pain of it. So Baba says that this is how you have to explain Gyan, so that they understand also, and their feelings, which are, people are very emotional about their bhakti. So their emotions don't get hurt, and you're still able to explain that, what is bhakti and what is Gyan, and how Gyan is the way to salvation and liberation and not bhakti. Now, what I have understood is, you see, the first thing that we have to understand is people do bhakti so that they can be liberated from their sins, right? Now, you see that in the world these days, bhakti has received very different meanings, because bhakti has also become very tamopradhan. So these days people are mostly doing bhakti for material wealth, correct? So people are just doing it so that, this evil is warded off and this situation eases and I get this and I get that. So, but that is not why people did bhakti, or that was not the point of bhakti. So people did bhakti because they wanted to be liberated from their sins. And Baba says that first you have to understand who is the one who has become a sinner. So is it the body or is it the soul? So first thing that we have to make everybody understand is, I, the soul, do everything through the body. And if I, the soul, do impure karma through the body, if I, the soul, am under the influence of vices and I create impure karma, then I, the soul, become impure, not the body. So the body becomes impure because the soul is impure, not the other way around. So Baba says that the body is a piece of matter, and it is I, the soul, who is doing everything through the body. So the first question is, who becomes impure through action? I, the soul. And when we talk about methods of purification, so in bhakti, all the methods that are suggested for purification are very physical. So you go and bathe in water, but water, so the definition of the soul is, water cannot touch the soul. Yes, the soul, in Gita it is written that Atma par pani, hava, anything cannot have an effect. So water cannot touch the soul, or earth cannot touch the soul. So it's beyond the 5 elements of matter. And aag jala nahi sakti, pani bhigo nahi sakta. So these are the things that are written in the Gita, that fire cannot burn the soul, water cannot make the soul wet. So Baba says that when the soul is impure, you understand that the soul is not going to be cleansed by the 5 elements of nature, because the 5 elements of nature cannot reach the soul. So even if the soul lives in the world of matter, they cannot reach the soul. Now, how does the soul get affected? So you see that the soul is beyond the influence of matter. But how does the soul become impure? The soul becomes impure through its man and buddhi. So when the soul focuses on that which is impure, and when the soul thinks about that which is impure, then the impurity of the world starts becoming the impurity of the soul. Yes, so Baba says that the simple rule for the soul is, When the soul does karma under the influence of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, then that karma makes the soul impure. Another method through which the soul becomes impure is when the soul thinks about that which is impure, or when the soul focuses on that which is impure. So right now, if you see that somebody is very angry, right, and that person is somebody you don't know, then are you affected by their anger? No. But if you focus your attention on that one who is angry and you start thinking wasteful thoughts about why are they angry, what did I do, I'm doing everything right, still they are disappointed, what is this problem, how do I solve it, then you start losing your energy. So Baba says that the soul gets impure through karma and through thinking and attention. So the simple method through which the soul will be purified is through karma and through attention and thinking. And Baba says, when I come, I teach you to think about Gyan, to think about matters of knowledge. I teach you to focus your attention on I, the Supreme Soul, who is the ocean of purity, ocean of peace, ocean of love. And the law is you become like the one who you pay attention to. So when the soul focuses its attention on me, the ocean of purity, the ocean of peace, then the soul also becomes pure and peaceful. And Baba says, just like when you do karma on the dictates of Ravan, on the dictates of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, then that karma incurs a negative karmic account and you become impure. Similarly, when you do altruistic karma and you do karma like a trustee, you do karma like a karm yogi on the directions of Shiv Baba, you are not motivated by lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. You are motivated that you are an instrument of God and with the intention of bringing benefit to every soul and to the world. When you do karma, you become pure. So Baba says that this is the method to become pure. And Baba says the bhakti counterpart of it is shown as, you dip yourself in the Kumbh Mela, you go and take bath in the Kumbh Mela and you do dhan. So, you give up, you give something in the Kumbh Mela, you donate. But Baba says that donation and that bathing will not purify you. When you dip yourself in the ocean of knowledge, when I, the soul, immerse my man and buddhi in the ocean of knowledge, and I, the soul, immerse my man and buddhi in remembrance of Baba, then I will be cleaned. And the other thing is, not by donating in the Kumbh Mela, but by donating everything that belongs to me, my body, mind, wealth and everything. When I start using that on Srimat, when I start using that for world benefit, for Sukarma, then my karmic cycle will be reversed and I will be able to become free from my sins and go to the world of punya or charity. So Baba says that this is how you have to make everybody understand that the point of bhakti is to be free from sins, and you cannot, the body is not the sinner, the soul is the sinner, and the soul can only free itself from the sins by yoga power and through actions done on Srimad, actions done with the intention for world benefit, for seva. So this is how we do it. And then I will also give you one example of, there's this sister, she's a psychiatrist and she is in a foreign country, and she was sharing this experience with me. In that country, most of the population practice Christianity. And she was telling me that, Didi, I didn't have a lot of foundation of bhakti because I did not, in this birth, I have not done a lot of bhakti. But I'm practicing as a psychiatrist, and there was this one brother who came to me, and that's her experience. She was saying that this brother came to her, and that brother, he was around 80 years of age, and he had a lot of anxiety and depression. And when she asked him, what is your problem? So he started saying that I have done a lot of sins in my life. And according to the Bible, so there is, these sins are something that keep gnawing into my heart because I understand that I have committed those sins and I feel guilty about them. And I feel like, God is punishing me, and I keep asking for mercy from God, but I don't feel His mercy, and I feel like God is punishing me all the time for my sins, and I keep repenting for my sins every time something goes wrong. I feel that it's because of what I've done in the past. And because this sister did not know a lot of bhakti, she told him that I don't know from where your idea is coming, but God is the ocean of love, because she's in Gyan. So she told him God is the ocean of love, and God never punishes you. I don't think God ever said in the Murli that He punishes us, and He's always there to uplift us. And if you are sorry about your sins, then God definitely loves you a lot, and He is giving you the strength to come out of those sins, and He is giving you the strength to be better and to be a creator rather than a sinner. So when she told him that, he just looked at her and he said, which God is this? We never learnt about this God. So she said, I am a practitioner of Raj Yoga, and we learned this in Raj Yoga. So you see that there is such a big difference between knowing God from the aspect of religion and knowing Baba as he is. And this is an experience that she was sharing with me, and I was just thinking that sometimes we don't appreciate enough how much Baba is sustaining us, because you see, there are so many belief systems which work like shackles and pull us down, because they are very self-deprecating. So, and Baba says that according to the plan of drama, from the copper age, every soul will perform sins, right? Because that is the plan of the drama. So when the vices enter, the souls start performing bad actions, and that happens. But Baba tells us now that that is okay, and I have come to make you free from, or absolve you of your sins. And Baba says you don't have to pull your hair, or self-inflict some pain, or go into guilt and repentance. Those are not the methods through which you will become free from sins. So Baba has told us there are 3 methods through which we become free from sins. First thing is if we remember Baba and follow Srimat. So do seva, that's the first method. And the second method is when you suffer your karma. So whenever there is physical pain, financial pain, emotional pain, Baba says, if you take light and might from me and cross that with dignity. So it's not when you keep feeling guilty and bad about it, that's not how you settle it. You settle it when there is a suffering and you cross it with grace and dignity. So, and you can do it when you keep me with you, when you do it in my remembrance. So Baba says, whenever there is a karmic settlement that comes up, you don't keep asking why, how, you just put a full stop, remember me, and with great patience, with great power of peace and joy and strength that I give you, cross that. So Baba says, and while you do that, you also set an example for others. So Baba says, what is a bad time for others is seva for you. So Baba says, when a Brahman, a child of Baba, goes to the hospital, then it's not just for crossing the illness, but also because the doctors have to be given the message from Baba. And usually this is what happens. And I will tell you one recent example. So there was this Mata, and she was hospitalized, and she was so happy. She had an operation, and she was so happy while she was in the hospital in remembrance of Baba, that whenever the doctor came or the nurses came or anybody who came for a care, she would just read out the slogan to them and explain it to them. And when I went to see her in the hospital, then the hospital staff said, oh, we know, we read the slogan every day. They used to tell me the slogan also. And it was very interesting to see that, because Baba says, we children, when a karmic account comes up, we don't suffer, we cross it with great dignity, and that becomes an opportunity for karmic settlement and seva both. So I don't think that, just the karmic settlement was done, but that Mata incurred a lot of punya karma also because she became an instrument to show everybody how you could cross it like that. And the third method to be absolved of sins is through punishment that happens in the end. So, but that punishment is also not like somebody frying you in hot oil or whatever is written in Garud Puran. It's not like that. Baba says the soul will have some sakshatkar and some experiences in trance and in the subtle world, where the soul will come to a place of self-realization. So, such scenes sometimes, in the world, when you cross certain situations, you have certain realizations. And Baba says that those who don't become wise by knowledge, they become wise through experience. And Baba says, I will give you some experiences in the subtle region which will help you come to that place of self-realization, that I am a soul and this is my Baba. And I will tell you one experience that Gulzar Dadiji shared about what kind of punishment somebody would receive in the subtle region. So what is the method of punishment? So Dadi once had this experience where Baba told Dadi how these punishments would be. And she said that, let's say somebody has a lot of attachment to the face and the body, and they are very into cosmetics and just using a lot of makeup and this stuff, and because of that they are not able to come out of body consciousness. Then that soul would go to the subtle region, and there would be lot of makeup and combs and different varieties of things lying there. And what would happen is, when she would touch the makeup and apply it on the face, then the face would burn. Or she would take the comb and the comb would get stuck in the hair and then the soul would be struggling with that comb. Now you see, after that experience in the subtle region, what will happen is that experience will help her detach from that form of body consciousness. Yes, so because when you have a bitter experience with something, have you seen people who live in a lot of attachment, and then when the child betrays them, or they do their wish and they don't obey them, and maybe they get married at their own will, or they leave the house, then suddenly the parents just finish all attachment and they close their doors to the child and they never invite the child again. So this happens because bitter experiences also make you take you away from the vice. But the thing is, they cannot fill you with virtues. The beautiful thing is, when you have a bitter experience, you will become free from the vice, but because there will be fear about the vice, but you will not be able to have that heart which is full of virtues and powers. So in the end, that is why Baba says that when you don't settle your karmic accounts either through yoga power or through suffering with dignity, when we children refuse to do either of the two, then the third thing happens, which is settlement through punishment. But Baba says, even if you settle it through punishment, you will not be able to have a pad, a good status in Satyug. Why? Because those punishments will take you away from the vice, but they will not fill you with virtues and powers. So they will just clean you, but they will not be able to fill you enough for you to have a great status. So this is why Baba says that it is recommended that you settle your accounts through by crossing any karmic accounts with dignity and with the remembrance of Baba and following Shrimat and doing seva. So this is all about sins and purification and bhakti and gyan. And there is another thing that we need to understand about bhakti, is that Baba gives a very good point today. Baba says that if it was possible for souls to become pure by bathing in water, then these rivers have been flowing and these melas have been being organized since time immemorial, right? So it's been so long that people are going and bathing in rivers, and people are attending Kumbh Melas and donating and doing everything. But why is it that the world is only becoming more and more impure? So you see, what is the dictionary definition of insanity? When you keep doing something repeatedly with the hope that it will give you a certain result, but it has never given you that result. So that is insanity. And if you look at it, we are doing something with a certain aim in bhakti, but we've been doing it over so many years, but it has not given that result. So it is time that we started thinking differently and experimenting with the new method that Baba is giving us. And it is time now that at least, we try it for ourselves, and we can offer it to everybody that you try it for yourself, whether remembrance of Baba, following Shrimat, this is cleansing you, making you lighter, making you purer or not. And whatever you have been doing for so long, has it yielded the result you were seeking? Okay, Om Shanti.